All right. First time doing a live. Here we go. My name is PK, and this is Innerbrews Playing with Myself edition. I'm about to drink a short brews, soft parade. Looks like these guys are based out of Elk Rapids, Michigan. I've had one of these back in the day. I know it's super fruity. Let's read about a little bit more here. Fruit ale brewed with blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries. It's a berry-ass beer, bro. It's a berry-ass beer. Let's give it a crack and give it a taste. It's got berries in it. It's got some berries in it. There might be some beer in there too, but that's definitely berries. Damn, that's a lot of berries. It's not half bad. It's not my cup of tea. It's not half bad though. So, give you a little recap. Innerbrews did a holiday hiatus. Over the holiday hiatus, your boy here got the dreaded COVID. The house has been shut down, and we haven't been going out for the past 11 days. Got real stir crazy here towards the end, but like those first fucking 4 or 5 days were complete hell. Just body aches, sneezing, runny nose. I mean, our noses felt like it was a play in the snow. If you get what I'm saying with old Charlie boy, at the bad end of a bender, the nose was fried. It just felt like the sinuses picked up and hiked. It was horrible. But what else? Sore throat. I mean, it was just the worst. But luckily, it's over with. We got the okay to go back to work, and we're just playing it real cautious. And that's why Innerbrews is probably going to be taking a little break. Hopefully the cases drop low. We are expecting between February and March, which is exciting for us because we've invested into this podcast. There is more to come. The list of guests keep growing. I got exciting people to talk to. I'm excited to talk to these people. I've looked up to a lot of them for a long time. A lot of them have been friends, and some of them have been just like too nervous to even talk to these people because they're just so high in their field. Little starstruck, a local starstruck, if you will. But I wanted to get up on here and I wanted to chat with you guys. Hopefully you guys got some questions if you guys are interested. I got some questions sent to me already, luckily, so I have something to fucking talk about. And we'll start off with which Michigan beer was my favorite. So I have been a domestic beer drinker, not really huge on microbrews or the IPAs or stouts or stuff like that, but friends, family have all been into it, and there's so many local Michigan breweries that I felt like I needed to start trying a little bit more out of my box, and so far the beers have been great. One that jumps out to mind was on the first episode with Aaron Johnson. We had a ghost pepper beer, which, I mean, you breathe back in and it choked you out. I believe we coughed a couple times on there just taking a sip. I mean, the burn was intense, and it's a beer. You know, you don't expect that flavor from a beer. But my favorite has to be the Devil Dog from I think it's the Royal Oak Company. I mean, I've bought that 6-pack way more and more after that, and it's been delicious. I mean, I don't have necessarily a worse beer, but a beer that I'm probably not going to be buying was the caramel beer that me and Drew didn't drink. Oh my God, that thing had an aftertaste that was just, something different. Oh, I see. My boy Marcus on there is talking about the one we sipped in. It was just right off rip. We didn't understand it. It was a pretty bad brew. I can't even remember the name of that brew because oh my god, I can't remember what the episode or anything. But I tell you what, it's lucky because I don't want to give a bad shout out. Next question was which of the Innerbrews were the easiest? I don't know necessarily if the any of the interviews are easy. I get anxiety doing anything, and preparing for each interview pretty much goes through the same process. Listening to whatever art or looking up whatever art the artist has, and then the one and then the one thing that I always come back to is, the growing up aspect, because that's what I'm interested in, how they get to where they are now. I always try to think of that. But I think the easiest person to talk to, just because he's been my best friend for so long, Aaron Johnson was the first person I got on there. And I think you can tell that it was very easy because the interview is super short. Like, we've had these conversations 100 times, and he's going to be my first guest that I bring back because we got so enthralled in the interview and the questions were flying that there's bands that man's been in that we didn't talk about. Like, there's projects that he's been a part of that he didn't even have a chance or opportunity to talk about. And I can't wait to get back in there to talk about that things. And there's other things that I want to bring into the interviews because all these people are so talented in their field. I know that they have other talents artistically, stuff like that. I want to get into that more too. But I think Aaron Johnson I would quote on saying he was the easiest person to talk to. I'm always shocked to talk to people that I've known for years and find out how much I didn't know. Like, didn't take the opportunity or the conversation never prompted itself, but that is always fun to me. When will Innerbrews return? Like I said, we are hoping that hopefully by mid-February, cases drop lower and sources tell us that, it's the cases aren't so high that we can do the in-person interviews. We've talked about doing the webcam interviews, and that's probably going to come in. I always enjoy being face-to-face with doing an interview, which, I'm sure everybody does. But, yeah, I'm really excited to get back to Grove and work with those guys again, because those guys are fantastic. We have a blast working with them, me and my partner. But yeah, what you guys talking about over here? Easiest to do, hardest to get out. I tell you what, some of the interviews go longer than what we try to aim for. We try to aim for that sweet spot of 30 minutes, but sometimes they just go over because once you get somebody rolling and talking about something interesting, it's very easy to knock out 2-3 hours. And for the sake of the viewer, we try not to drabble on and on. But there's things in the works. We got Ypsi Metal is working on numerous projects that I don't want to talk too much about because they're still being in that being born phase. We're ready to put everything out. Really hoping that the pandemic sees its end, because we have musicians that are ready to blow their homes apart just so they can be outside playing music again. I mean, I know I follow numerous local comedians that have been itching to get on stage, and it gets harder and harder. But I do see a rebound. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I mean, the whole reason I did Innerbrews was to show off how many local people that, I mean, I live in a small city, Ypsilanti, where I swear that 75%, if not, more, of the people here are all artists. They all do something artistic. They all express themselves in an artistic way. I don't get that from any other cities I've been to. Maybe it's because this is my hometown. I was born and raised here, but I really feel like this little city that we have here is super special. It's got like the best parts of all over Michigan, and it's like this melting pot right here is sophisticated people with amazing artistic talents, and it's some of the best stuff we get to see here. I mean, I got a buddy who hasn't produced anything, hasn't put out, but he can twist his voice and make it sound like characters, and he does impressions, and he's such a big personality. I really am looking for a project to work with him because it's a talent that we're missing out on. And the more art that's out there, I don't believe in that whole like we're competing against each other, so there's not enough room for everybody. No, I believe that there's plenty to go around. So if you got something artistic you're doing or something you're thinking about doing, do that shit. Get it out there. Hit me up. Let's talk about it. I don't care. I don't care who you are. If you're doing something artistic and positive, hit my Facebook up, DM me, whatever you want. I'll get you on Innerbrews. You don't have to be a musician. You don't have to be a comedian. You know, if you're just sitting there sketching stuff out and got a awesome point of view, dude, I want to sit down and talk to you. Like, art's where it's at. Art is kind of like it's food in the sense of like we can all sit down and have a meal. Nobody says anything, but everybody's experienced the same thing. That's some good ass fucking food. When you're sitting there and you're listening to music, even if you don't even like the genre, if you're listening to live music, you're in the moment, bro. Like that's intriguing enough to sit 30 minutes and have a beer and talk about. And I enjoy it. I enjoy sitting next to anybody. I mean, I have a big issue of like not wasting time, but like being on a time crunch and sitting there talking to somebody and being like, oh my God, we just been sitting here for 30 minutes. I'm late. Just sitting here talking to you because, for that, brief 30 minutes, you're fucking interesting. So, yeah, man. I mean, if you guys have anybody in mind that you're like, oh, dude, my friend, he makes Play-Doh sculptor, fucking shoot me up, man. I want to see it. I want to see it big time. Brandon Burke, fucking excellent comedian. I got to get this guy on the podcast. Yeah, dude, I miss Ziggy's too in a big bad way. My buddy Marcus, shout out to my best friend. He pulled me out of a dark place, man, and asked me to host Ziggy's comedy show. Luckily, the boys from Approachable Minorities have a little entertainment group or an entertainment, what do you call it, production? I would say production. That through a comedy showcase at Ziggy's, a local pub cafe, if you will. And the guys up there, the guys who own the place and the workers up there are fucking fantastic. They linked up with the boys in Northern Threat, and like they just, that place is fucking fantastic. I mean, Dave is one of the kindest people you ever met. I had no idea who he was when I walked in there. He obviously had no idea who I was, but was just happy to be around like new art. I mean, the guy's love for music and jazz and all these things, it shows through like that place. That place is Ypsi hidden treasure, and I swear to you guys, when this is all done, that place will be packed out, blown out every day, because it's such a cherry spot. It's such a cherry spot. It's good for comedy. It's good for music. I mean, you could do an art gallery in there, and it would be fucking fantastic. That place is something fucking special, and I can't wait to get back in there, start telling some jokes, get up some of that talent in there, man, because what a home. The comedy showcase, yeah, when Marcus brought me there, I was super nervous. Having the only couple times I've done stand up, I was booed. I bombed. I bombed every time I got on stage. And after fifth, sixth time bombing or attempting to get on stage and bombing in my mind, I quit. I was like, I'm done. And I was just sitting home writing for fucking years. And Marcus brought me out of a dark place, got me on stage talking shit, which I love to do. Talking shit's one of my favorite things to do. The old gift of gab of cursed of talking, one of the twos. Yeah, man. The Innerbrews thing kind of came about just. I always said I wanted to do a podcast. Never really had the idea of what to do. And then I kind of sat there talking to a bunch of musicians that came over to my house for dinner one night, where they were all talking about music. I was so interested and had no clue what the fuck they were talking about because I'm not sophisticated or talented enough to know that shit. And sure enough, we were all having a beer, and I was like, dude, this would be a great idea. Have a Michigan beer, talk to Michigan artists, bring it back home, man. And yeah, dude, I fucking enjoy it immensely. It gets my crew excited when we do that shit. Whenever we do anything presentation wise, whether it be throwing shows back in the day at the field, or throwing show house parties, or just pulling shit together, throwing them at bars, any pub, anybody that take us, we are the best version of ourselves at that point. Where there's a professionalism that comes out of that I never seen before. Like, my boys can pull some incredible things off of off of a whim. Hey, we want to do something today. Let's go do that. Let's go throw a show. Like, I got a pretty special crew, and I love talking to them. I love talking about them. It's good peoples. As far as the merch goes, man, that's in production. We got a great logo. We got a family house name. We want shirts, we want hoodies, we want hats, we want everything. Innerbrews got a whole line that we're trying to get and develop. I mean, funds are tight. It's kind of hard to start a whole, production company when you got the whole country locked down. We want to throw live shows. That's how we do our thing. We throw live shows. We get our name out there through those live shows. Innerbrews is a very new idea of podcasting for, our crew. So, there's going to be more podcasts coming out. There's going to be more art coming out. Once everybody's free from the shackles of the mask, if you will, please wear them. Don't get me wrong. Please wear them. Social distance, all that shit. But, we're definitely we're definitely looking at the end of the tunnel and wanting to break out of there. And dude, I can't wait. If we only had that extra 2K, I feel you. We all, the country needs a break. We could use some good news. My beer's getting warm here talking to you folks. That's a real sweet beer. I'm not a real big sweet beer fan. A pink can, I dig the pink can. I dig the logo. It reminds me of camping. Oh, yeah, man. You guys are having it out. Gotta love you. Oh, man. What else can we talk about? Some, YM, the whole Ypsi Metal thing. I don't know, being an outsider to the area, probably have no clue what the fuck that means. But it is basically something I kind of fell into here. I loved music growing up. I mean, I'm sure everybody loved fucking music growing up. And when I was, especially in high school, when I was growing up, I was always trying to find myself, as everybody is, again. And I fell into a crew of just like mismatched broken toy kind of thing. We had a guy that he gypsy lifestyle is the best way I could put it. Like, he worked off the grid. He paid his taxes. Don't get me wrong, but he was a hairy, nerdy, I don't know, hobbit of a guy. And then he had this lanky, skinny cousin of his. And then my best friend Marcus, we linked up with these 4 guys and we got a place together. And I found these groups of bands, like they were just like all over the place in Ypsilanti. Like, you would hear about this band playing at the Elbow Room, and you'd be like, Helen Keller, that's an odd name. And then you would hear another band playing, and it was like a Perfect Failure. Like, who the hell is this band? And come to find out, all these bands, Bloodline Calligraphy and other bands, you're sitting there, and all of a sudden you find out all these guys know each other. And I was shocked. I was like, all these guys know each other? Not only did all these guys know each other, but they were all gone to school together, grew up together, and I'm talking about, like, it felt like they were all over Ypsilanti, and I wanted to be a part of that in such a big, bad way of, like, that interconnection of knowing everybody. And I found that ragtag crew, and that's what Ypsi Metal came out to be, is, like, we were a group of misfits that loved playing music, that loved aggressive styles of music and all types of music. And then our passion for art grew into this, like, small little production company now, which is kind of fucking crazy to say, but we're working hard and we're trying to figure out how to best get this afloat. And now I'm fucking rambling a lot. But yeah, Ypsi Metal is kind of my family, and I will always wave that banner. This YM will be the banner of anything I do. Anytime I do stand up or podcasting, if there's ever the YM documentary, my ass is gonna be in that motherfucker, finger on the pulse. Yeah, I look forward to the future, and I'm glad that you guys are all watching. I'm glad that you guys pay attention to Innerbrews. Remember, support your local artists, because that's the whole reason we're doing this, is to, if we can help 2 or 3 people not live a dead-end job where, they hate going to work, but they gotta go because they gotta pay ends meet. Dude, if we can make people get their name out there, get them recognized, and then have them make money off their art and live their life, bro, that's why I'm fucking here. That's what I eventually want to do. I mean, I think that's the dream as an artist, is to do something you love and make a living on it. Best living you can. Yeah. So usually my guests have to answer a sex, drugs, or rock and roll question at the end of their Innerbrews. Now, I highly doubt this has been 30 minutes. But on the off chance that I'm wrong, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. And I'm going to think of a sex, drugs, and rock and roll question to answer. Now, sex is obviously how I lost my virginity. Rock and roll, no. Sex, drug. So drugs would be my worst drug experience. Rock and roll was my most rock star moment. Now, I personally, I've had several people tell me, dude, don't ask these questions at the end of the interview. I love these questions. These questions make us all relate to one another, because everybody has an embarrassing how I lost them. Anybody who's telling you how I lost my virginity and it was awesome is fucking lying. That's a lie. No, nobody's time was awesome. It was awkward. Nobody knew what to fucking do. Unless you waited until you were 30 and researched on porn for, 20 some odd years of nonsense. I don't know why you were watching porn at 10. Yeah, that'd be odd. But it's fucking 2020. Everybody's doing odd shit. Drugs experience is one of those cautious ones. You don't want to expose anything. I think that's what I'm going to go with, though. My worst drug experience. This was when I was in a band, and we were, I'm probably going to get the story wrong, but I believe we were on our way to a show, and before we went, we were at a friend's house loading up, and my buddy came in, and he had 3 little chocolates. Now, these 3 little chocolates were interesting because he said that they were edible, so they were marijuana-infused chocolates. I ain't got no problem with that. That sounds like easy peasiness, right? So I had 2. I was going to save it for the car ride because who wants to sit in a car, for an hour and a half to a gig sober? And we didn't want to drink in the car because it was a friend's car. So we all, me and my buddy, took them. And we were sitting there. And we're in the car. And all of a sudden I'm noticing that these streetlights have tracers on them. And I immediately know that these chocolates don't have marijuana in them at all. Before I started raising, I pulled out my phone, I called my friend, and he said, no, they don't have marijuana in them, they have mushrooms in them. And these mushrooms were about 1/8 of chocolate, so I had 2/8 of mushrooms in a car for about an hour driving to a gig, and the entire time, these lights have tracers, and they're getting more and more slowed down. They're wiggling out. And at first I'm having fun. I'm like, hey, this ain't that bad. This is kind of funny. You know what I mean? I look up front, and my buddy's looking at me, who's sitting in the passenger seat, and he's got a huge smile on his face. And immediately I know, hey, they kicked in for him too. So we're laughing and giggling up. Now, all this time, my best friend and his girlfriend are sitting immediately right next to me. And the drive has gone for maybe 20 minutes. And I turn and look at my buddy, and he is melted and molded into his old lady. And immediately I just think of like that fat vampire that got burnt alive and Blade. Deep cuts on y'all. And this melted, burning vampire was just disgusting, and that thought kept in my head, and I kept looking at my friend, and I had to roll down the window and stick my head out in the door. Dude, I immediately entered a zone of just horror, things of nightmares, like constantly thought of my friend melting into his girlfriend. Then I thought, oh my God, what if everybody in the car is doing it? What if the driver's doing it? So for what I felt like was about a 5-minute bad trip, turned out to be a 45-minute bad trip. And I got to the end of the house, and all the people in the car were staring at me because I was drenched in sweat. I was pale white and terrified. And luckily, all of our band members couldn't make it to the gig. We didn't have to go on stage. Saved my life. Which is also cool because the house we went to was like someone's parents' house, and the parents were still there. I'm talking about absolute terror all over me over a bad shroom trip. That one still haunts me. That was a bad trip. It was a real bad trip. Yeah. But that's my sex, drugs, and rock and roll question answered right there. So, I mean, I'm not gonna talk you guys' ear offs anymore. But I will finish this beer. Thank you guys all for watching. I really hope to have Innerbrews. Keeping it on going. I wish you guys were there. I wish that everybody that watches this watches the rest of the Innerbrews. I see people are still joining on. It sucks. I'm about to end this. I'm about to end this bad boy. I'm gonna finish out this beer, and maybe hit you with the top 5. Somebody throw me a top 5. Top 5 what? My buddy, that is a short brews soft parade by the Elks Company, and they were nice to remind me that this is a fruit ale that has blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, and apparently alcohol in this. Boogers. Top 5 boogers? No, bro. Every booger's top 5. Nah, not doing that either. Not doing that either. Sorry there, Chief. It's great to see you, Dave. My man, Dave. Love you. Love you. Let's do top 5 sandwiches. And when I'm talking about sandwiches, I'm not talking about like a sandwich you make at home. I'm talking about subs. Now, I always start controversy when I talk about this because in my eyes, a Philly cheesesteak hoagie is a sub. Deal with it. Eat that shit, bro. It's a sub. It's a motherfucking sub. It's a long piece of bread, bro, with steak and cheese in that son bitch with some onions. That's a motherfucking sub. I don't care who you are. So yeah, and automatically that wins. So number 1 is cheesesteak hoagie. That's my top number 1. And I do it differently because I like to go down, because the next one is the Italian super sub, which is just salami, provolone, lettuce, tomato, that gnoia, whatever it is, fucking meat. Oh, it's fucking delicious. What else? Fucking banana peppers. I said lettuce, tomatoes, onions, red onions. Don't use white onions, red onions. What else you put on that bad motherfucker? You gotta have pepperonis, you gotta have your salamis, you gotta have... I like turkey and ham. Don't be skimpy on my lunch meats. You gotta fucking do that shit. Olive Garden dressing on that shit. Or even better yet, get some of that cherry vinaigrette and use that shit. What's another one? What's the third? Oh, boy. I don't know. I mean, that's a press sandwich. That's a cooked sandwich. Yeah, I'll go Cubano. Cubanos are delicious, man. I would put Cubanos as number 3. If you don't know what a Cubano is, go talk to one of your Hispanic friends and let them educate your ass. Or go watch Chef. That's how I know what a fucking Cubano is. Let's be real. But yeah, banana peppers or yellow peppers. I don't know. What you talking, Pippin? The 4th sub, you gotta have, I don't know. 4th sub. Who even gives a fuck about 4 and 5 when you got the top 3 right there? Ham and Swisses are good. Yeah, ham and Swiss. Ham and Swiss is decent. And number 5. Now, why is this number 5? Because it's a Jimmy John sub. I don't know anybody else who makes the sub. The Garg's number 5. The Gargantuan is number 5. All right? Why is it number 5? Because it's always there. You can always get that shit. Jimmy John's is freaky fast. Duh. Yeah, that's my top 5 subs, sandwiches. Fuck yeah, and my beer's done. So, love you guys. It was good talking to y'alls. Send me DMs of people who you want to see on Innerbrews. I am going to try to do live Innerbrews playing with myself every week to, keep me relevant, I guess. I don't fucking know. I got other ideas about a painting show, but I can't rip off the great Bob Ross. I don't think I can. So, love y'all. Appreciate y'all being out here. Stay safe. Whatever. Thank y'all for paying attention.